Money never meant much to my family, until it did. To me, though, it was everything. Not luxury, not trips abroad. I wanted safety. A life where one mistake, one late bill, wouldn't collapse everything I'd built. I'm Marcus Hale, 32, living in Prescott, Arizona. My house is small, 2 bedrooms, stubborn plumbing, creaking floors, but it's mine. I bought it after landing a solid IT job at a health tech firm. It wasn't glamorous, but it symbolized control. Something no one could take from me. Mornings were ritual. Black coffee, toast, a quick glance at my bank account. Slowly, steadily, my savings climbed. $105,000 became $112,000, then $237,000 by mid-2024. Every skipped lunch, every overtime hour, every drink or dinner I refused, it added up. This wasn't hoarding. It was survival. I kept it quiet. People rarely respect discipline. My brother, Kyle, joked about prepping for doomsday. I'd smile quietly, say nothing. I wasn't saving for the end of the world, I was saving so the world wouldn't take me down. My parents never understood. Mom would sigh when I declined takeout. Dad would roll his eyes when I skipped trips. They didn't see it as preparation, they saw it as denial. But I didn't care. I had a plan, and I trusted it. Then came the family reunion. Every June, we drove to my parents' cabin near Lake Havasu. A place where memories of summer sun and burnt burgers mixed with awkward games and folding chairs that threatened to collapse under the weight of too many relatives. Pretending to be close, it was always exhausting that I arrived early Friday. The air was thick, the heat pressing down on the gravel driveway. Dad waved from the deck, beer in hand, squinting in the sun. Mom hovered in the kitchen, pretending I wasn't there. I unpacked my things slowly, methodically, slicing watermelon, arranging things just so, and dodged the inevitable questions about when I'd finally settle down. Kyle and his wife, Selena, rolled up just before sunset. He honked, grinning like he owned the moment. "Marcus Hale," he shouted, stretching my name like a joke at my expense. Selena stepped out, breezy in a summer dress, faint citrus perfume trailing behind her. She moved with a confidence I had always envied, as if the world bent to her will. Dinner was tense. Kyle mocked my hermit lifestyle, laughing at the idea that I spent evenings balancing spreadsheets instead of chasing bars or vacations. Selena studied me, my hands, the way I passed dishes, the subtle tics of my gestures, as if trying to decode me. Later, by the fire, I caught her staring. "You're always so together," she said, voice syrupy. "How do you do it?" I shrugged. "I plan." Her gaze lingered, sharp and unreadable. That was the first time I felt unease, but I didn't yet know why. The next morning, the cabin was quiet. Birds chirped, a distant hum of boat engines across the lake. Selena approached, asking if I wanted to walk the lake trail. Gravel crunched beneath our shoes, the dry heat softened by a gentle breeze off the water. Then she said it, spilling everything in one breath. "Kyle, we're in trouble. Really deep trouble. And now, with the baby." I froze. "A baby? We're behind on rent. His car got repossessed. I'm working 2 jobs. I don't know what to do," she confessed. Instinctively, I said, "I can help. I'll send money. I'll get you back on track." "No," she said, shaking her head. But we both knew she was. My mind calculated silently, $5,250 would cover them, just a drop in my savings. I didn't hesitate. I spent the rest of the day uneasy, sipping coffee on the porch, staring at the lake. The breeze stirred the pines, the sun catching the tips of the leaves. I thought about control, the fragility of trust, how something as small as a glance could hide a storm. That night, I couldn't sleep. My laptop sat open on the kitchen table, idle, and a flicker of doubt gnawed at me. My accounts. My control. I tried to dismiss it. Selena was family, but a knot formed in my stomach that refused to unwind. By Monday, I logged in fully, and froze. $0. Every single dollar, $237,000, vanished. Transfers traced to Kyle and Selena. My own family. The people who smiled across the dinner table, whose hands I'd passed lemonade to, whose voices I'd laughed with, they had emptied me. I packed a small overnight bag and drove. Phoenix. Their apartment building was sun-bleached and cheap-looking, with sagging balconies, peeling paint, the kind of place you underestimate until you know better. Kyle answered the door, half asleep, orange soda in hand. I walked past him. Selena glanced up, slow, calculating, like she had rehearsed every reaction. My account. All of it, I said quietly. She laughed softly. You're dramatic. We needed it more than you. Once, those words might have made my blood boil. Now, precision replaced anger. I dialed 911. I reported the theft. I recited every detail with clarity. Standing in their living room, I traced every dollar, every step of the betrayal in my mind, as if I could reconstruct it and take back what was mine. 3 days later, arrests. Identity theft. Conspiracy. Fraud. Predatory betrayal. My own brother and his wife, held accountable. The trial was clinical. Evidence laid bare in black and white. Kyle received 6 years. Selena, 2+ probation. Some money recovered, much gone, rent, groceries, everyday life funded by me. The rest, gone into ordinary consumption, unseen pleasures, wasted trust. I walked out of the courthouse alone. No applause. No apologies. Just cold January air on my face. I breathed in the quiet, feeling the weight of what had been taken, and the stirrings of what I would reclaim. Rebuilding wasn't instant. I opened new accounts, enabled two-factor authentication, encrypted every sensitive folder. Every key, every password, every access point, mine and mine alone. I returned to my routines, hiking, photography, exploring the subtle details of the world I could control. The curve of frost on a railing, sunlight filtering through pine needles, small moments I had overlooked in the pursuit of stability. I joined a trivia group at a local brewery, people who knew me only as Marcus, the guy with a weird knowledge of geography and random facts. New friendships began without shadows of betrayal. I started dating again, with a man named Carter, kind, patient, and awkward enough to make me laugh without judgment. I still think of them sometimes, Kyle, Selena, the betrayal, the audacity. But I don't feel broken. I feel sovereign. Every measure of control I rebuild, every lesson learned, reminds me that what I create now is untouchable. What they took changed everything. But what I've rebuilt, that's mine. Sovereign. Controlled. Unbreakable. I decide who touches my accounts, my future, my life. And I've learned that sometimes, the quietest victories, the ones built in patience, trust, and discipline, mean the most.